Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Puri Rajakacharya Ashtotar Satashi Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrind Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mayi Ki Jai Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi ki jai, Samaveta Bhaktavinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. And welcome everyone for Srimad Bhagavatam with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami and friends. Maharaj is en route to Australia, so may not be able to join us tonight because of time difference and travel. But here we are, and I'm eager to hear from everyone else tonight. We're starting tonight with, actually today's Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025 in New York. And we're starting tonight with Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 9, text number 18. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So text 17 and the prayers leading up to that were Dhruva Maharaj's prayers upon seeing the Lord. And now we hear what happens as a result of Dhruva Maharaj offering his prayers. Maitreya Uvacha Atabhishtutta Evang Vai Satsankalpena Dhimata Brityanurakto Bhagavan Pratinandyedam Abravit. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, when Dhruva Maharaj, who had good intentions in his heart, finished his prayer, the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees and servants, congratulated him, speaking as follows. Pratinandya, that's having congratulated him. And Britya Anurakta, very favorably disposed towards devotees. Prabhupada doesn't have commentary. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur doesn't have commentary, but this is his version of the verse. Maitreya said, after hearing himself praised by the intelligent boy, having a great determination, the Supreme Lord, attracted to his servant, accepted the praise, and then spoke. So now text 19. Just wanted to say also, we had some material from the class that was overlapping or overhanging at the end. There were a couple nice elements of chat participation that we'll get to in due course here. So text 19. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Vedaham te Vedaham te vyavasitang Hridi Rajanya Balaka Tat Prayachchami Bhadrang te Durapam Api Suvrata. The personality of God had said, my dear Dhruva, son of the king, you have executed pious vows, and I also know the desire within your heart. Although your desire is very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill, I shall favor you with its fulfillment. All good fortune unto you. The Lord is so merciful to his devotee that he immediately said to Dhruva Maharaj, let there be all good fortune for you. The fact is that Dhruva Maharaj was very much afraid in his mind, for he had aspired after material benefit in discharging his devotional service, and this was hampering him from reaching the stage of love of God. In the Bhagavad Gita 2:44, it is said, Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam, those who are addicted to material pleasure cannot be attracted to devotional service. It was true that at heart, Dhruva Maharaj wanted a kingdom that would be far better than Brahmaloka. This was a natural desire for a kshatriya. He was also only 5 years old, and in his childish way, he desired to have a kingdom far greater than his fathers, grandfathers, or great-grandfathers. His father, Uttanapad, was the son of Manu, and Manu was the son of Lord Brahma. Dhruva wanted to excel all these great family members. The Lord knew Dhruva Maharaj's childish ambition, but how was it possible to offer Dhruva a position more exalted than Lord Brahma's? The Lord assured Dhruva Maharaj that Dhruva would not be bereft of the Lord's love. He encouraged Dhruva not to be worried that he childishly had material desires and at the same time had the pure aspiration to be a great devotee. Generally, the Lord does not award a pure devotee material opulence, even though he may desire it. But Dhruva Maharaj's case was different. The Lord knew that he was such a great devotee that in spite of having material opulence, he would never be deviated from love of God. This example illustrates that a highly qualified devotee can have the facility of material enjoyment and at the same time execute love of God. This, however, was a special case for Dhruva Maharaj. Om Jnanatimirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada remarks at the very beginning of the purport, the Lord is so merciful that he said to Dhruva, let there be all good fortune unto you, Bhadram Te. Naturally, the Lord wants everyone's good fortune, and he's saying it very explicitly to Dhruva Maharaj. Tat prayach chami Bhadram Te. The tat prayach chami, as I shall give you that which you want, Hridi, within your heart, O son of the king. So he's addressing him as Rajanya Balaka, son of the king, O prince, as in similar way he addresses Arjuna in various ways in the Bhagavad Gita, based on the context of the conversation that's current. Winner of wealth, defeater of enemies, so mighty armed, Savyasachi, expecting him, or scion of Bharat, when he wants to make a point to Arjuna that you are speaking learned words, but you are lamenting for that which is not worthy of grief. Things of that nature that he says to Arjuna in a seemingly joking way. He's addressing him as scion of Bharat, somebody with a great family background like yourself. You should know better than to be putting forward the arguments that you're putting forward. And here, the Lord is dealing with Dhruva Maharaj in a very appropriate way. Rajanya Balaka, O son of the king, O prince. He knows the desire that Dhruva has in his heart. And he also knows that he's kind of gotten over it, but he knows that the desire is still current to some degree. And he says that, Prabhupada says that this was a natural desire for a kshatriya, this desire for lordship, kingship, jurisdiction over even a better kingdom than my father and my grandfather and my great-grandfather. I want something big. And the Lord is prepared to award his desire due to his love for his devotee. And also because he knows that bestowing that particular benediction upon him won't ruin him, as material sovereignty or opulence generally tends to ruin people. People that win the lottery generally ruin themselves as a result. Most people can't handle that sort of benediction. But Prabhupada says this was a special case for Dhruva Maharaj. Some of us might like to think that we would be immune to the allurements or the effects of having a tremendous benediction of material opulence. But the tendency is universally overwhelming for things to go the other way. Yeah, it's a special case for Dhruva and for the Brahmana Sudama, on whom Krishna blessed with bestowed great opulence. Or we were just reading previously about Mother Devahuti, who, by the grace of her husband, had a tremendous aerial palace, practically her own city, but she wasn't attached to anything in it. So the Lord bestows these benedictions when he sees that someone, as he says at the end of the purport, Prabhupada says, in spite of having material opulence, he would never be deviated from love of God. So generally, the desire for material opulence and the desire for pure devotional service are at odds with one another. The Lord likes to bestow pure love of God on someone who wants that and wants nothing but that. And he generally withholds that opulence from someone who's mixed in their pursuit of the Lord's mercy, because he knows that we see it time and time again. So many sad examples of great influential sadhus, sages, yogis, devotees, who as soon as they get some material opulence, they blow it. Something goes wrong. Their mind just becomes altered. They can't handle it. Yeah, and also another point I was thinking of at the beginning, Prabhupada is saying this was a natural desire for a kshatriya because Dhruva was who he was in this incarnation as Dhruva Maharaj. It was natural for him to want kingship, lordship, sovereignty, but it's based on the conditioning that he was born with. Everyone has desires. Men desire women, women desire men. Sometimes other desires are, go back and forth, but that's just the conditioning. We experience it as real to the degree that we ourselves are conditioned and do not have detachment or knowledge or both. But Dhruva went at it full force, wanting this kingdom, and was able to have darshan of the Lord, then immediately just felt bad. Oh, what was I praying for? Oh, I'm so sorry. But the Lord here is trying to encourage him by saying, all good fortune unto you. Don't worry. I know what you want. I'm going to give you what you want. And I'm going to give you both things. I'm going to give you pure devotion and that material benediction that you were hoping for. And I'm so happy to see that Maharaj is able to join us. Maharaj, do you have any comments on this verse so far, on text 8?
Maybe just a little bit. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. I find it interesting that the Lord here shows his versatility. He can take everything away. He treats the disease of material desire, and one way is by taking everything away. You accumulate it, I smash you. You accumulate it again, I smash you. That's one way. And the other way is you have material desire. All right, just take whatever it is that you desire. I'll give it all to you. And still you'll remain attached to devotional service. But Prabhupada seems to indicate here that that's not the general treatment. If we give that material opulence to the ordinary devotee, he may be diverted, may be distracted from pure devotional service. But there are devotees who give them any amount of material opulence or material opportunities for enjoyment, and they won't budge. They'll just remain fixed. You gave the example of Sudama Brahman. He wasn't deviated by having opulence. And many other examples are there. Yudhisthira Maharaj, king of the world, but wasn't deviated. And many, many other examples are there of devotees who did get everything. Of course, we think, well, let me be like that. Let me be one of those, the guys who get everything and remain fixed in devotional service. But as we'll find, even Dhruva regretted having those desires. And the Lord knew what his desire was. Vedaham. Vedaham. Yeah, Vedaham. I know what your determination has been. He's within the heart of everyone, so he knows. And Prabhupada also calls it a childish determination. You're 5 years old and you're a Kshatriya, so I want a kingdom better than my great-grandfather's. This is childish. But the Lord said, all right, take your childish desire also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. And also the point that you've made in the past regarding this, or something very similar to this, is that Dhruva was a special case. Prabhupada makes that point. And also getting an honorary degree from a prestigious university is only for those people who are special cases. It's not that because we may want that in our heart. Can we please have that? No, you better just go the usual course and
yeah, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, go for the Jnana Vairagya, which is more common.
Yeah, not that. Well, Garuda wasn't a vegetarian.
Right. Saraswati Mata, please go ahead.
Pranams Param Puja Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. I was just reminded of Dhruva's uncle Priyavrata, who was firmly fixed on the path of renunciation, Nivritti Marg. And then Lord Brahma all of a sudden sort of requested him to give up that path and become the king and the ruler, which would of course involve some form of sense gratification. And we know that the Kumar brothers, they refused Lord Brahma's order when they were asked. But here Priyavrata, he sort of accepted, all right, I've been asked for this. But even though he was a little, if my memory serves me correctly, I think he was a little bit swayed by some form of sense gratification. But at the end, he still remained the pure devotee, the glorious devotee that he is. But it's just sort of made me think, how someone who is firmly fixed on the path of renunciation and all of a sudden they have to sort of do a U-turn and become a grihastha. I'd love to hear any thoughts Maharaj might have. Hare Krishna.
Well, things are not very straight in this, on this path. It's not that it's always the same way, that the cookie cutters formula will work every time. The Lord has his own desires and his own way of blessing his devotees and helping them. So he may give them everything, he may take everything away, he may inspire them to become renounced, he may urge them to not to renounce. So the Lord has multifarious ways. It's not a script. It's not like calling up customer service in Hyderabad, they read from the script for whatever problem it is. The Lord is again versatile and subtle and sometimes, I think you made this point, sometimes humorous also. He does funny things. He enjoys sometimes doing something tricky or doing something unusual. He appears as a dwarf Brahmin and begs for 3 paces of land. Totally innovative. So the Lord enjoys these wonderful activities in loving dealings with his devotees. He may sometimes go one way and then sometimes go the other. Hare Krishna.
So I was thinking also of the activities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji. His interaction with different devotees is also different. One set of instructions, to the Goswamis, complete renunciation, and then we read that for other devotees, other Brahmana devotees, I think one of them was Venkat Bhatt, Gopal Bhatt's father, he wanted to join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji on his tour of South India, and there's other brahmanas that I don't remember that they want to follow him, but the Lord sends them back. So it, as you say, it's different interactions, and I'm thinking because the Lord knows past, present, and future, so whatever instructions he gives, that's knowing what's best for them at that time. Is that correct, Maharaj?
Famously, the Kurma Brahmin, he wants to give up his family and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's sick of this materialistic way of life. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, don't speak like that. You remain here and serve. So the Lord has his own program. But again, it's not to provide us excuses for material attachment and sense gratification. But it's surrender. When we surrender to Krishna, it means, Krishna, you can do as you like. You can embrace me, you can kick me, you can award me whatever material situation. And sometimes award is not the word. We feel like, award me a material situation. I don't want a material burdensome situation, but he can award it or impose it, or he can take it away. He's totally free to do whatever he likes. And the devotee is surrendered. All right, Krishna, whatever you want to do. Even Prabhupada, he was thinking that he would build up some capital for spreading Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. And Krishna had a totally different idea. Prabhupada surrendered. Later, he was doing so well in America, and then some circumstance arrived, and it seemed that Krishna was pushing him out of America. And he went to Japan. So, all right, whatever, I'm your servant. We talked about that the other day, Kim Kota. No, we didn't talk about it. I was hearing Keshav Marsh speaking about it. Kim Kota, what do you want me to do? So that's the mood of the devotee. Hare Krishna.
All right, Krishna. I mentioned that we had some things in the chat from last time that were left over, referring to the previous verse, which I was going to read again. This is Dhruva saying, my Lord, O Supreme Lord, you are the supreme personified form of all benediction. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshiping your lotus feet is better than becoming king and lording it over a kingdom. That is the benediction of worshiping your lotus feet. To ignorant devotees like me, you are the causelessly merciful maintainer, just like a cow who takes care of the newly born calf by supplying milk and giving it protection from attack. And Saraswati Mata says in regard to this, and this came in after the bell last time, I like the comparison of a calf fully protected by the Gomata. The calf is naturally happy under the mother's protection and love, and the mother is naturally predisposed to taking all care. It's not that the calf has to earn the mother's love and care. She is always ready to take care of the child, just like Krishna.
And the cow is happy to see the calf happy. That also. Not just that the cow is dutiful, but the cow sees that the calf is happy, then the cow becomes happy.
Jai, yes. And Prabhin Krishna Prabhu helpfully provided the verse, Satyang dishatyarta tang artito nirnam, naivarta do yat punarartita yataha, svayang vidadhe bhajatam anichchatam, ichcha pidhanang nijapada pallavam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfills the material desires of a devotee who approaches him with such motives, but he does not bestow benedictions upon the devotee that will cause him to demand more benedictions again. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter at his own lotus feet, even though such a person does not aspire for it, and that shelter satisfies all his desires. That is the Supreme Personality's special mercy. Thank you, Praveen Krishna Prabhu. And Vijay Krishna Prabhu asks, How do you explain that the same happened to Srila Prabhupada? Srila Prabhupada was trying to become very rich for the purpose of financing his preaching activities under the guidance of his Guru Maharaj. But although Srila Prabhupada was as advanced as he was, still Krishna took away all his wealth and made of him the ultimate beggar. Please?
Yeah, again, Krishna's not stereotyped. That if you're advanced, I do this. If you're not, not that he's got like a cheat sheet, and if this, then that, piece of computer code. It's his own free will. And in Prabhupada's case, of course, it's drama also. If somebody asked this question the other day, why Prabhupada had to come with no facility, but if Prabhupada had come to, a roaring reception with everything set up for him, there would have been no story, no drama, no pastime really. It would have been, as they say, like playing tennis with the net down. But instead, Prabhupada faced all these difficulties and showed by example what we should be prepared to do, and also was glorified by Krishna. They can't deny, even if they don't surrender or don't take his but they can't deny that that his story was wonderful, and his example of dedication to whatever it was that he believed in was extraordinary, and that the result that he achieved was completely unexpected and in that sense marvelous. So even the non-devotees will appreciate such a wonderful example. Prabhupada Krishna glorifies us. The same thing Yudhisthira Maharaj and the Pandavas. Why take everything away? They could handle the kingdom, but they became more glorious in the face of difficulty.
Vijay Krishna Prabhu sends you a heart emoji, which I assume means he loves what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. There's another example that I don't know if it's still the practice, but buttons would be sold with a piece of foil behind them, so that the foil would bring out the characteristics of the button. If there's a fancy button with a foil, which is how we get, as far as I understand, our term foil, in the sense of I'll be your foil, where he was a foil for the hero. The hero's characteristics stand out more because of the foil. If he has no opposition, then there's no one to test his mettle. So Krishna glorifies the devotees even by inspiring or arranging for demons to oppose them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. More hearts.
More hearts.
Saraswati Mata says thank you. And she also says, some materialists proudly claim, quote, pressure is a privilege when we point out the miseries with material life.
Well, yes, but then make use of the privilege. You're under pressure and you're just making a temporary fix for the pressure. You're making some money, or you're subduing your enemies. But if you really want to show something glorious, then make the most. The pressure is you've got this human form of life, and it's only for a short time. And Maya is pushing you like anything to surrender to her and become like a dog, just gratifying your senses and serving your senses. So take the privilege of that pressure and stand up against Maya. What is that? Utishto tishta bharata. Stand up and fight against Maya. Don't just give in. Otherwise, if you give in, you've lost the privilege. Or misused the privilege. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. And Srila Vishwanath has a short but sweet commentary on text 19, which I thought we could look at. The verse is rendered this way. The Lord said, O Prince, determined in vows, I know what you resolved in your heart. All auspiciousness to you. I will award that place rarely achieved, and also prema. And his commentary. O Prince Rajanyabalaka, your desire for power is natural. Therefore, I will fulfill that desire. Then the response from Dhruva, but then you will not give prema. And then the Lord, all auspiciousness to you, Bhadram Te, do not worry. I will also give you prema. This is indicated by the word api. You previously said, and then he quotes from an earlier chapter, last chapter, Padang tribhuvanat krishtam, jigisho sadhu vartmame, bruhyasmat pitribhir brahman, anyayar apyanadhishtitam. O Brahmana, please tell the correct method for me, desiring the best position in the three worlds, which has not been attained by my forefathers or others. And then he says, please accept that place now. Which brings us to text 20. And there's more in the chat here. Moray Gupta Prabhu says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, Krishna is the protector of the Brahmanas, but he has so many sweet pastimes with Kshatriyas. Arjuna and the other Pandavas, Dhruva, Uddhava, Prahlad, Ambarish, Bali Maharaj, for example. Is that because Kshatriyas are more active in the world than Brahmanas?
One thing is Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. He's the well-wisher of everyone, not only the cows and the Brahmins. But yes, the Kshatriyas are prominent. Prabhupada mentions that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Manu, Ikshaku, and so on, because they're the Kshatriyas. Naturally, we want to influence those who are powerful. Yes. And also Krishna's, he's an equal opportunity employer. So he's kind to the Brahmins. He engages with the Kshatriyas. He performs his principal pastimes with the Vaishyas. So he's everywhere.
Thank you, Maharaj. He says, and as you were speaking, Maharaj, it occurred to me that if you look at the arc of the life of Srila Prabhupada and his dealings with various types of people, he has so many sweet dealings with people in government, preaching to them, very strongly and sweetly, trying to bring them around because they're influential, and he knew that it would have some effect somewhere, if not immediately later on.
Mm-hmm.
And because Madhupati Prabhu is with us, I was going to ask him to read text 20, unless there's something more you wanted to say, Maharaj, here. All right, Madhupati Prabhu, are you able to read our text 20 and 21?
Okay. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Kurutas Jayadvaita Swami ke namene. Nanyai adisitam badra yad brajishnu dhruva yatra gra arksha taranam jyotisham chakram ahitam medyam go chakravatstasnu parastat kalpavasinam dharmo agni kashyapa shukra munayo ye vanau akasha charanti dakshini kritya brahmanto yat tarakah. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead continued, My dear Dhruva, I shall award you the glowing planet known as the pole star, which will continue to exist even after the dissolution at the end of the millennium. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all the solar systems, planets, and stars. All the luminaries in the sky circumambulate this planet, just as bulls trade around a central pole for the purpose of crushing grains. Keeping the pole star to the right, all the stars inhabited by the great sages like Dharma, Agni, Kashyapa, and Sukra circumambulate this planet, which continues to exist even after the dissolution of all others. Although the pole star existed before its occupation by Dhruva Maharaj, it had no predominating deity. Dhruva Loka, our pole star, is the center for all other stars and solar systems. For all of them circle around Dhruva Loka, just as a bull crushes grains by walking around and around a central pole. Dhruva wanted the best of all planets, and although it was a childish prayer, the Lord satisfied his demand. A small child may demand something from his father, which his father has never given to anyone else. Yet, out of affection, the father offers it to the child. Similarly, this unique planet, Dhruva Loka, was offered to Maharaj Dhruva. The specific significance of this planet is that until the entire universe is annihilated, this planet will remain, even during the devastation which takes place during the night of Lord Brahma. There are two kinds of dissolutions, one during the night of Lord Brahma and one at the end of Lord Brahma's life. At the end of Brahma's life, selected personalities go back home, back to Godhead. Dhruva Maharaj is one of them. The Lord assured Dhruva that he would exist beyond the partial dissolution of this universe. Thus, at the end of the complete dissolution, Dhruva Maharaj would go directly to Vaikuntha Loka, to a spiritual planet in the spiritual sky. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments in this connection that Dhruva Loka is one of the lokas, like Sweta Dvipa, Mathura, and Dwarka. They are all eternal places in the kingdom of Godhead, which is described in the Bhagavad Gita, Tad Dhama Paramam. And in the Vedas, Om Tad Vishnu Param Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya. The words Parastat Kalpavashinam, transcendental to the planets inhabited after the dissolution, refer to the Vaikuntha planets. In other words, Dhruva Maharaj's promotion to Vaikuntha Lokas was guaranteed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnanatimandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmitanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Here we see that the Supreme Lord grants Dhruva his material desire of having a kingdom greater than his great grandfather. So he grants him this Dhruva Loka, pole star. And we see the description here of how the Dhruva Loka, though it was there before, it was not ruled by any kingdom. But it was accumulated by all the other stars and planets. And it existed even after the partial dissolution. There's a partial dissolution after the day of Lord Brahma. When night of Lord Brahma begins, there's a partial dissolution. And at the end of Lord Brahma's life, there's a complete dissolution. So the Lord grants Dhruva that he will rule Dhruva Loka through the partial dissolution of Lord Brahma, of the universe. And then at the time of complete dissolution, when he go back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha Loka. Dhruva Maharaj also returned back to the kingdom of God. But he awarded this, the Lord awarded this kingdom to Dhruva. Though he had lost his material desire, once he got the darshan of the Lord, he lost that material desire for which he was performing this tapasya. And he compared that to the broken pieces of glass. But still the Lord was so pleased by Dhruva Maharaj that he granted him that desire. Yoga Shema Mahamyam, he granted him that desire. Yeah, that's all I had.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, would you like to add something?
A couple of things. One is we'll hear more about the importance of the pole star and the situation of the pole star in the fifth canto when cosmology comes up as a topic. From the commentaries, it seems that the acharyas have different opinions about what happens, whether Dhruvaloka outlasts the partial dissolutions or whether it lasts till the final dissolution of the universe, in which case, at which time Dhruva is transferred to Vaikuntha, or whether it just continues to exist as a Vaikuntha planet, which seems to be the position that the Prabhupada takes. This word made him the bull circling around the pole to thresh grains. Just tangentially, I heard Prabhupada explain the word griha medhi that way. As the bull circles around that pole, which Prabhupada said is called medhi. So the griha medhi is walking around in circles, working hard because of his attachment to sex life. For that reason, he's called griha medhi. See if there was anything else here. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to add. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Murai Gupta Prabhu asks, why is it a sign of respect to circumambulate someone? Do any other cultures have this?
Islam has it. They circumambulate the Kaaba during the Hajj. It's a huge circumambulation. And there's, during that Hajj pilgrimage, the pilgrims in huge numbers circumambulate the Kaaba. I would probably, if we think of it, we'll find examples in other cultures also.
I thought of another tangential thing regarding this example Prabhupada gives of the bulls treading around a central pole. He used that example to give the devotees of the Bhaktivedanta Institute an idea of how the universe is described in the fifth canto, seemingly beyond our three-dimensional ability to look at it from various angles. He was saying just like a bull is tied around a pole, and he's just crushing grain, going in a circle. His whole experience of the world does not extend beyond that motion. And in a similar way, human beings are tied because of their karma. They're limited to seeing things in three dimensions, whereas the universe itself is much bigger and more complicated than we can even imagine. Also, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has a purport to this verse that I thought we could read, if that's all right. It's quite nice. The verse is rendered in this way: fortunate boy, I give you that radiant place which is eternal, not attained by anyone else. The zodiac of planets, constellations, and stars revolve around it like oxen walking around a central pillar to grind grains. That place remains till the end of Brahma's life. Bharani, Kritika, Cancer, Venus, and the Big Dipper revolve around Dhruvaloka in clockwise direction along with the stars. And now his commentary. I give you that residence, Kshiti, which is eternal, Dhruva, possessing the zodiac belt of planets, constellations, and stars, which are like oxen circling around the central pillar to which they are tied. This place remains fixed for the duration of Brahma's life, for those living for that duration, kalpavasinam. At the time of final destruction, some say that Dhruva ascends to Mahavaikuntha. Even though existing within the material universe, Dhruvaloka has the qualities of Shvetadvip, Mathura, and Dwarka. The following verses show that Dhruva attained Vaikuntha, and the first verse is text 28 from this chapter. Sudhurlabham yat paramang padang harer mayavinas tachcharanar chanarjitam labdvapya siddhartam ivaika janmana katang svamatmanam atmanyatartavit. Having attained the supreme abode of the merciful Lord, which is rarely attained, through worshipping the Lord's feet within one lifetime, and though he was knowledgeable, why did he consider himself unfulfilled? And then from text 25, same chapter we're in, Tato gantasi matstanang sarvaloka namaskritam uparistad rishibhyastvam yato navartate gata. You will go to my abode, worshipped by all planets, higher than the Big Dipper, from which you will not return, having gone there. And then from chapter 12, Anastitang te pitribhir anyayar apyangakarhichit atishta jagatang vandyang tad vishno paramang padam. O Dhruva, stay in that supreme abode of Vishnu, a place not achieved by your forefathers or any others, which is worshipped by the whole universe. And then he says, others say that parastat means that Dhruvaloka remains beyond the lifespan of those lasting for Brahma's life, since the planet of the Lord, capital L, is eternal. Dharma, Agni, and others are the forms of constellations, Bharani, Kritika. And then Vanokasaha refers to the 7 sages, which is equated here with the Big Dipper. Hare Krishna. Would you like to address any of those points, Maharaj?
No, I have nothing specific to add.
All right, thank you. So we've reached almost the top of the hour here, and Saraswati Mata says, Ganesh circumambulated his parents 3 times when Lord Shiva set a competition for the fastest person to circle the 3 worlds 3 times, and Ganesh was intelligent enough to win the competition by honoring his parents. Oh, and Madhupati Prabhu has a question here. Isn't Dhruvaloka a spiritual kingdom in the material universe?
That's how we hear of it. It's said that it's Dhruva, that it's eternal, and that it outlasts everything, that it's on the level of Mathura and Dwarka. Yes, that. Of course, like everything, it's mysterious. Where exactly is Goloka Vrindavan? In the commentary of Brahma Samhita, it's said that Goloka Vrindavan extends throughout the 3 worlds. So how is that? So we think we know. We've got the chart. Someone's done it up, and it's printed. You can put it on your wall and see where Vaikuntha is, where Goloka Vrindavan is, where Shvetadvip is. But then it's not exactly that simple. It has its mysterious nature. Even, you have your map and it shows you where Australia is, where Africa is. and this one's green, and this one's yellow, and this one's blue. But it's not quite like that when you go there. It's a whole something much different, much richer. So exactly what Truvaloka is mysterious. Some commentators will say it's this, some commentators will say it's that. But Dhruva Maharaj was awarded the privilege to go there. And yes, what we hear is that it's an eternal place, transcendental to this material world, even though situated within it.
Jai. Thank you, Maharaj. And we have another message here. Praveen Krishna Prabhu says, the spiritual world, Dhruvaloka, is visible to our material eyes.
Yeah.
And with that, I wanted to see if Madhupati Prabhu would be willing to also lead us in kirtan.
Okay. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Gurudas Jayadvaita Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvichesha Sunyavadi Pasatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Gaur Premanande Hare Gaur
Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Supari Prajaka Stotri Satashi Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai
Bhakta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai.
Jai
Amacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai.
Jai
Name Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai
Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Ki Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Gangamani Ki Jai, Jamanamani Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Madhupati Prabhu, for the kirtan.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj ki jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.
Hare
Hari Hari. Hare Krishna.